And welcome back, everyone. Well, our SP is taking a bit of a hit this time, but we're going to keep going until our SP gets quite a bit lower, but I don't like to get lower than 20%, or maybe 15%. Somewhere around there. I don't like pushing it way too far, though. Maybe I'm just a little too safe in games, but I prefer to think of it as, if I don't die, then I must have done something right. After all, no one really wants to watch me die. At least not in Persona. Dark Souls, it's alright because that's the way it is, but not in Persona. You know, it's always a dicey question. How many of these battles do I leave in? Because you guys are watching this because you probably don't want to watch the same thing over and over and over again, otherwise you'd be playing the game. On the other hand, I don't really want to be too boring out there. I try to find a good mix for you guys, but it's a little trickier than it probably sounds, and we'll go up that in a minute. For now, though, let's see what's in door number... I don't know what door number that was, but there's nothing here, is there?
There are 3 enemies! Careful!
Throw down! Persona!
That's it, Yosuke! One
Don't
enemy
get cocky!
down!
Persona!
That's it, Yosuke! One enemy down!
Yosuke-kun?
I think what I'm going to do here is basically, if I was watching this, would I want to see this battle? And since we haven't had a battle in a while, I'm going to keep this in here.
You hit its weakness! Smart!
Now's our chance! You ready? Alright! Ready or not, here we come!
Plus we gotta see Sylph in action. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. Well, now that that pointless detour was over, I believe that is about it for floor 2, unless I'm mistaken. Which I don't think that I am, so off we go. Well, that means there's a mini-boss on this floor, and we don't have the SP to do that, so that'll have to wait till next time. But ooh, a rare spawn. I don't think we've actually saw a rare spawn yet. And you want to get these. You want to kill these. If you do manage to kill these, you usually get a fair amount of money, not to mention the fact that you usually get chest keys.
A rare monster! Beat the stuffing out of it!
That's some thick skin!
Now most of the time these will have very high resistances, except to one particular type of attack. The trick is finding which one to use.
Go, Sensei! You not...
Now's our chance! You could answer!
Just be careful, they will usually dodge physical attacks unless they're knocked down.
Take this! Persona! I couldn't do it.
Counting on you! Persona! Damn, it's not going down! Persona!
Great work!
Basically think of these fights that if you win, you usually get a rare piece of loot. Of course, the rare piece of loot comes later when you find a big treasure chest, but still a new piece of loot. And this is a mini-boss, or I'm not sure, but it was either that or a cutscene. I wasn't really sure, and I wasn't going to take the chance on dying and having to redo all this again, so sadly this is going to have to wait until next time. But don't worry, we're not done yet in the session. Remember how I said I should probably fuse more personas? Well, that's what we're going to go do. After all, we haven't saw Igor and, was it Elizabeth, or am I thinking Persona 3? Either way, we haven't saw them in a while. Margaret, that was her name, Margaret. And before we do anything else, you usually should register your persona so you can get them back if something bad happens, or if you mess up, or hell, if you just want them back afterwards. Oh wow, looking at the time, I spent 12 minutes trying to figure out what to do. I'm not going to show you all 12 minutes of me going, I don't know. So through the power of editing, here we are at our first fusion. And as an example of how to get the skills that you want on the persona, you cancel both of them, and then you go back, and that's how you do it. So it took me a long time to get the proper things I actually wanted, and that will be here. And why am I getting Jack Frost? Well, because he's Jack Frost. He-ho. And if you don't know what He-ho's from, well, you should play Digital Devil Saga, my friends. But I wanted Jack Frost to have Bufu and Garu. Garu because, well, I just wanted to have Garu, and for some reason he did not have Bufu default, so here we are. Oh, I love Jack Frost. I hate King Frost, though. Oh, bad memories of King Frost. I can't wait until we get Ice Boost. Well, oh yeah, I forgot about this. I accidentally was like, what? Oh, I guess that's a good oops, isn't it? But, yeah, they're not always good. I did not want Maypatra to change. But sometimes if you get a skill that's not that good, it's actually a good idea to let it change. Of course, you probably shouldn't have a skill that was inherited be that bad, considering you can easily change it, but if it's a skill that he has that you don't really want, that's a good time to use it. And on to our second fusion. This persona is a bit more dangerous on a death level, because she's weak to Hama skills, which are fairly rare, but she has Zio, Mudo, and Agi, which is nice to have in one persona. However, she is of the Devil Arcana, and we don't have that social link yet. But I'm going to say that's worth it, because we don't have Mudo yet. Well, she is rather convenient. I don't mean that in anything perverse, I mean that in the fact that she has a lot of different attacks. Of course, like I said, she's weak to Hama. And if you don't know what Hama is, all light and shadow spells are basically instant death. And no, we don't want that to change. So, if we run anything that uses Hama, we need to change Lilith, or Lelam, or whatever her name was, because that can get us killed instantly. And that really sucks. That can end your dungeon crawling faster than anything. Of course, if it's a single target spell, people can take the spell for us, but then they'd be dead. So, yeah. Of course, if they use a Mahama, then you still die, because they can't take the spell for you and take their own. Anyway, now that we're done fusing personas, we need to get some of them back, considering we're now too short. Now, even though we already had Jack Frost, I do want Fornius back because of his buff Tarukaja and his debuff for Kunda, which are very nice to have in boss fights. And since, you know, we don't really want to be weak to Hama, and we still want to have wind spells, let's get Sylph back. Just in case. It's always best to have as many options as you possibly can. Anyway, now that we are out of there, we've fused our personas. Let's take a look at them. We got Lelam, Slime, Asperus, Jack Frost, Fornius, and Sylph. A very solid lineup. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. Anyways, this session is winding down, everyone. So, hopefully you guys had fun watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this. And I shall see you guys later. So, goodbye everyone.